The Shadows Beneath the Floorboards. When the police found Amira's diary beneath a loose floorboard in their cramped Lahore apartment, its pages stained with dried rose petals and tears, they dismissed it as the ramblings of a troubled wife. But her husband, Harris, knew better. He'd heard the whispers in the walls long before she vanished. Amira's entries spoke of a man who twisted verses from the Quran to justify his rages, who locked her in the closet when she refused to bow to his pride. He says I am nushuz, rebellious, she wrote, but Allah sees the truth, and so do the shadows. The last entry was a sketch, a door etched with symbols Harris didn't recognize, flanked by faceless figures. Beneath it, she'd scribbled, the Jinn in the walls say they'll help me. I have nothing left to lose. Harris burned the diary. That night, the temperature in the apartment plummeted. He woke to the sound of something scratching beneath the bed. When he looked, he found 3 rose petals, fresh, blood red, arranged in a triangle. Then the videos began. A grainy clip appeared on his phone, time-stamped the night Amira disappeared. It showed Harris himself, standing over her crumpled body, screaming, I'll make you obey. But he'd never owned a camera. Worse, he'd never laid a hand on her. Had he? The next video was worse. Amira, alive, her face gaunt, recording herself in the bathroom mirror. You called me a liar, she whispered, but the Jinn believe me. They want to play. Behind her, the shower curtain rustled. A shadow, too tall and thin to be human, slid across the wall. Harris laughed. Delusions. But when he replayed the video, his own voice hissed from the speakers. Who will believe you now? That night, the closet door creaked open on its own. Inside hung Amira's favorite scarf, reeking of decay. Beneath it lay a child's marble, their daughter's, who'd died in infancy. Harris hadn't seen it in years. At 3 a.m., the knocking started, 3 raps on the window. Then Amira's voice, sweet and familiar. Let me in, Habibi. I forgive you. When he tore open the curtains, nothing was there, but his reflection in the glass wasn't his own. It grinned, its eyes black voids. The final video arrived at dawn. In it, Harris sat at their kitchen table, weeping, as a shadowy figure paced behind him. Not Amira, something older, jagged, its limbs bending backward. The Harris on screen muttered, They showed me what I did, what I truly did. Then he screamed as the entity lunged. The timestamp read, Today. Harris deleted the video, but when he opened his photo gallery, every image of Amira had been altered. In each, the faceless figures from her sketch loomed in the background, closer every time. The police found his body the next morning. The apartment reeked of roses. His face was frozen in terror, his hands clawing at his own throat. On the wall, written in ash, were the words, We witnessed. Beneath the floorboards, they found the diary again, untouched by fire. The last page, previously blank, now held a new sketch. Harris, kneeling, surrounded by shadows. Above him, the Arabic script for justice glowed faintly.